Hello there. This is Sandra Longmore, and I am so happy you are here today. We are going to have a very special broadcast where we talk about the power of a painting. And the painting here is in the background. And today I have a very special guest, Mary-Lynne Monroe. Um, she is a storyteller extraordinary. And I'm just going to just a minute here. Okay, so tell me, are you or someone you know always doubtful of your future? Well, today you can really learn how the power of a painting or the power of a story can change everything for you. And the law of attraction and this discussion is going to help you with any situations you have. Or maybe it's something more like this, that you have trouble thinking about how any change can happen, but it really can. And a story or a creation of art helps you find out more about your life and reveal more of a situation. And my program here is every single Saturday at 2 o'clock, and next week we have a very powerful presentation and story, again by Mary-Lynne, Master Storyteller. And she has prepared a special story, and we are going to talk about it. And raise your vibration, I am sure. So anyway, today I want to introduce now my special guest, Mary-Lynne. Mary-Lynne?
Okay, so my name is Mary-Lynne, and I have been working to improve my storytelling skills and to become a master storyteller here for about the past 5 or 6 years. I teach, and I love the power of story in terms of teaching, and I love the power of myths and reworking our myths to make them more relevant to us today.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary-Lynne. I am not sure about my sound right now. I turned it all the way down to prevent an echo, and so I'm just tweaking it a little bit. I don't think I'm getting any sound. All right. It is coming in? Oh, she says it is. You know, Mary-Lynne's really smart. Okay, but how come I'm not there? Should I do this? No. Anyway, doesn't show the picture.
Yes,
what do we do?
What happened to your picture?
What do we do?
I have a picture of you.
Yeah, but what's on my screen is what the viewer's going to see. So let's see if I have white box. Mary-Lynne? There. Okay. So there's our painting. And there I'm back too. So there's the painting. And try switching. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There's the painting behind me. And this is a painting that was commissioned to a 14-year-old girl in one of my art classes. And she was just like, my mom wants me to do this painting, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. In fact, I don't even know what it's all about. And she wants Arab women with the black outfits on, the bird is on. She called it something different, but I can't remember what it is. Standing in the desert, looking out over the sand dunes, and then a little girl also in the picture, because that's what she wants, and she wants to put it in the living room. And she said it's a symbol of her culture and how women it's kind of a symbol of what women stand for and what they want in their culture, and it's she's from Saudi Arabia. So the girl starts in on the painting, and I thought, wow, this is going to be a really incredible journey for this little girl, because she's just a teenage girl with really cute little girl, wears cute clothes and has the phone all the time, and you know, just being a teenager, so far from this scene, so far from understanding where the ancestral line that she's part of came from. And so as she started in on the painting, first thing she said is, I don't know how to paint sand. And I said, well, let's see. And it's quite symbolic if you think about the sand of time. So I said, I think I have some sand. So I did have some real sand. I said, let's use real sand. She says, oh, okay. So we tried real sand, and sure enough, that's real sand back there. She put that on, and then she made the women and the figures. And then she found out that her mother told her also that she needed to cover their faces with veils. And the whole time she's doing it, she's just really doing some soul searching. And I am too, as I'm guiding her through this whole process of what it must have been like for these women to just walk out in the desert. And what were they thinking? What were they doing? Why were they doing it? Why did her mom want her to paint this? All those questions were going through my mind. And so that's deeply part of an ancestral line, and deep part of incredible feelings for the difference in how one person can be born into a certain situation and another person born into a certain situation. And so, Mary-Lynne, what do you have to add to that? I know she has a lot to add.
So one of the things for me is that I know that in the it is very powerful to look at the lineage that we have. I mean, that's part of the story. It's part of the mythology and the story that we all carry forward. But I also know that in the Bedouin tribes, there's a story in the Bedouin tribes in North Africa and the Bedouin go all through the Middle East area, that one of the reasons the women wore black was because they were more visible out in the desert, which I was first being told that story, I thought, okay, but doesn't that then make them targets? And what the men were saying was that it made them more visible so that they knew if there was something going on, they could see where the camp was and where the women were, because the Bedouin are nomadic. I don't know how much I trust or kind of buy into that story, but it is part of the heritage. It's a story that's passed on through some of their lineage. So I think that it's a really powerful thing for a mother to want her daughter to see that, to see what, and to maybe tell her some of the stories, but also to give her the opportunity to see what bubbles up the daughter, to see what bubbles up within her while she's doing this. So I think it's a really powerful form of working with that story, family story.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do too. It was a very provocative painting for me as it was being created by this student. And every week I would look at it, and she would go through all kinds of different, frustrations. I don't think I can do the face. I don't think I can do this. I can't. And then she'd overcome, just like probably these women had to. She'd overcome what her challenge was, and she'd get better at what she was doing. And then, about 2 weeks before it was done, she totally changed around. It's kind of like, when you're really close to the goal, everything turns around and you just know you have it nailed and you're going to get there. And so she knew she had it nailed. She knew she had it figured out, and she was so excited to get it finished. And she even came in for extra classes and just worked it like crazy. Didn't talk on her phone, and I didn't have to tell her to put her texting down and work on her painting. She just went for it. And I think that's such a good thing for her to experience, and actually for me as a teacher to experience as well, as when you're closer to knowing that creative act, what you're creating is coming into a form that you can see. You've solved the challenges, you've you're towards the solution, and you're just on the last little bit, and it's just so exciting. And that's when law of attraction really gets good and fun to watch. So her vibration was lifted as she went through the whole painting process and just made it to the goal. And the reason we're doing this today is because she wants to take this painting home next week. And I wanted to get Mary-Lynne's feedback on this. And so we were going to do it next week, but we decided that we'd do it today because I really wanted to share the painting with you and Mary-Lynne's take on it.
Okay, well, one of the other things that I was just thinking about as I was looking at the painting while you were talking, Sandra, is that the veils across the women's faces are very thin. And so what this young woman did was actually allow for the individuality of those women to show through. So that for her, she was still seeing that. At least that's my take on it. I don't know her at all, but she was allowing for their individual expression to show. And if you look at the faces, they aren't real bright expressions. They're not like real happy but they're solemn, but they also aren't sad. They're just very serious, and they're all looking straight ahead. They're not looking down. They're not looking up. They're not looking around. And it's kind of like they have a purpose. And the young girl is kind of looking in the same direction. One of the things, too, in that heritage is that young girls don't have to wear the burqa or any of the clothing. They can choose to, but they don't have to until they reach that stage of being considered a woman, which is different for sort of for different tribal groups or different ethnic groups within the Arab tradition too. So
yeah, I think it was just a real cleansing of that ancestral line of that girl, and really for me too, because I remember in my own case and in my ancestral line that women were not always appreciated, and they were thought of as property, and they were thought of as just like like the land. They were owned, and so I felt really proud, as Mary-Lynne was saying, that they looked kind of proud, and I felt really proud of being a woman as this painting was being created, and as I was thinking about my own ancestral line, that I was really proud to be standing in this moment as a woman with all these tools at my fingertips, with the technology, with being able to talk to you, with being able to share with Mary-Lynne, and to openly talk about heritage and difference and diversity with this student, and not be afraid that anything's going to happen to us, that we're going to get our heads cut off or anything like that. And so it was really a shift in my vibration and my energy, this painting, and found it very, very powerful process.
Yeah, it's really a neat painting, and I think also that whole process of the whole thing about the story of women, all women who have been through, the heritage of not always being appreciated or any of those sorts of things, of having this, not having somebody necessarily look at us as anything more than, well, just like when they were looking at them out in the desert, well, the women are over there somewhere. and they're supposed to be doing certain tasks. But it's good to heal that, and it's good for the young women to be able to heal that. And that's kind of what I do with my stories, is try to work some of that too.
Yes, you sure do. And next week you're going to find that out, because next week Mary-Lynne is coming back, and she has a very special story that she's created for us, and we're going to discuss it and find out the different layers of meaning for you and for me and for her. And so, as a reminder, that's next week, and I'm going to be doing the Hangout with Sandra program every Saturday at 2 o'clock. The first 3 Saturdays of the month. I take the last Saturday off. And in the meantime, you can get in touch with me through Hangout with Sandra Longmore. And you can also get me on any of the social media channels. I have all of them. Yay. I don't know what that one is. Is that Pinterest?
Pinterest.
I have Pinterest. Yes. You know, I'm an artist. I like the image. And also I've started a community. It's called Google Plus Community, and it's called The Art to Living Ageless. It's a Google Plus community, and in that community I share thoughts and beauty and solutions. And this program today certainly was all those things. Thoughts, lots of thoughts, lots of beauty and solutions. So I'm going to sign off here. Mary-Lynne, would you like to say goodbye to our audience? And
Sure.
we'll conclude.
So I will talk to everybody next week too, with my story.
So tune in, and if you want to be on the panel, give me an email, sandralongmore@sandralongmore.com. Bye for now. I think we did pretty good. And the echo went completely away.
I think